Ready?
Yep. All right, Coach, the calendar changes a little bit once again. Saturday is back to a Saturday again. As you reflect on weekday CUSA and the success that you guys had and the exposure, just kind of share your thoughts on the midweek games and the success that you guys had.
Yeah, I think it's different for guys that haven't gone through it before. I think we had a handful of guys that hadn't, but most of our team had, and I thought they handled it really well. You know, it's not a real complicated formula. You just treat every day as, you know, for Wednesdays your Saturday, and Saturdays then your Tuesday, and you have to make sure your guys are getting their rest and preparing accordingly. But it is kind of nice to go back to a regular type of schedule where Saturday's your game day. I think the players would tell you that. But we handled it well, and now we have put ourselves in a position that, you know, the more you win, the more is at stake, and you know, we have a lot at stake this weekend and the games coming up.
On your radio show yesterday, you called La Tech probably the most improved defense that you've seen. Kind of share some of the problems that they present you guys.
Yeah, they got a new coordinator. They're playing really hard. They're tackling well. They're in position. Nobody's really moved the ball consistently on them all year, including, you know, North Carolina State. So it's going to be a challenge. It's a different scheme than what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. So we got to prepare well for that as well.
Questions for Coach?
Just getting from where you were at 0-3 to be in a position now where you're playing for those stakes. Just.
Yeah, I think there wasn't, you know, how we practice, the process, how we go about doing our stuff. It didn't really change. I think we played better, obviously, but I think the key part was that we stuck to what we were doing, you know, how we were doing it. We just needed to correct some mistakes that we were doing in the games, and the guys, you know, we played hard. That was the thing, that even when we weren't playing well early, we were still playing hard, which was good. So then we just had to play hard and play better, if that makes sense. So obviously we're doing that now.
Did it help to have a couple extra days after such an exciting win at Liberty to just kind of move past it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it always helps to have a couple extra days, especially when you're midweek and getting home late. You know, that's the big thing about getting, you know, the night games when you have, you're getting back, you know, at 2 or 3 in the morning. Those are the one I think that's the hardest on the players. So we had a day or two for them to get off, rest from that, and then, you know, now we just everything. There's no more bye weeks, but at least you're on a kind of a regular schedule.
Coach, La Tech's got 2 quarterbacks that have been kind of in and out. Both of them have started. Were they similar?
Yeah, I don't think I haven't looked at the exact number of plays and for each guy, but I think they're running the same stuff no matter who's in there. And so I don't think there's a change defensively with one guy or the other.
Since you've been here, you guys have run the ball real well, and in a sense, that's kind of old school to be a run-heavy team. Could you talk a little bit about your philosophy toward the run game?
Yeah, I think we're committed to it. I think that's one thing about it, but also, you know, we're gonna involve our quarterback in the run game. Some people do, some people don't. Some do it to some degree. We do it to a little bit more degree, I think, from that standpoint. You know, obviously we know the importance of playing well up front. You know, with our O-line, that's a consistent basis. And Coach Trickett plays a big part. Him and Coach Dressler and our offensive line guys do a consistent part with that. But then you have to be committed to it. You know, you have to be. You know, sometimes you're going to get outnumbered, and they can outnumber you and put everybody in the box and force you to throw it. So you have to be able to throw it at times, and that's the thing that I feel good about, that we have the quarterbacks and the skill guys that if they're going to outnumber us and load the box up, we can throw it. And then that's a big part of being able to run consistently, that they can't just play cover zero, because you got a chance to get some big plays, and that's going to be. And I know that, you know, the next couple of teams will probably challenge us with that. Load the box up, see if your quarterback can pitch and catch.
Speaking of that, could you talk some about your receivers? They just seem like they've maybe exceeded what we thought they would do.
Yeah, you know, we got a couple guys banged up in camp, and guys that were contributing, and Brandon Spector was one of them for sure, and who else we got lost?
Dalen.
Yeah, we lost Dalen too. He played last year. Dalen would have been, so we had to play some new guys, but we had some experience, having Pet and PJ and some of those guys that have played a lot of football for us has helped. But also, I think, and I've said this many times, those guys, whatever their role is on each play, whether it's running a route, catching the ball, or blocking, whatever it is, they have a lot of pride in that. Coach Garrett, Coach Nice, that coach our wideouts and slots and tight ends, do a good job of understanding that. I mean, I'm sure every wideout wants to catch 10 balls and, be a big part of the pass game, but, to get your guys committed to being a big part of the run game is, I think, makes our guys a little bit unique in how they do that.
You guys have outscored people 145 to 37 in the second halves of the last 6 games. What to make of that?
I think there's way too much always made of so-called halftime adjustments. I mean, you got 20 minutes and, 7 or 8 of it is walking in and out of the locker room. So you have about 10 minutes, to really do anything. And so you'll try to fix a few things, there, but you're trying to fix it throughout the game. I think the biggest thing, I think our guys are in pretty good shape. I think because our tempo and the way we practice, hopefully, I think makes us, still feel pretty good in the third and fourth quarters. I don't know if that's the determining factor or not, but I mentioned to our coaches that, that sometimes when you're a guy that maybe get injured or you're not played as much and you're playing more, and that happens a lot toward the end of the year because of injuries, are those guys in shape to play the way we need to play? Because, I think conditioning is a huge factor in football and sometimes overlooked as the season goes along. Some guys kind of get out of shape or don't stay in shape. And so if our guys are getting injured, not getting as many reps or whatever the case may be, we have to make sure our guys get conditioned during practice so they're in shape for the games. And that's a big part of it. Playing hard is playing hard, but you got to be in good shape to play hard all the time. And we have to be in good shape.
Tempo offense, does that where defense is more physically or mentally?
I think both. I think it's as much mentally when you try to tempo. Now people have done a good job against this, and they, they're not like, it's not like they don't know we're tempo, but we're at our best when we're controlling the tempo, and that's always going to be a big part of what we do.
Jax State, Wiggins back.
I think he's not going to be back for this game, but there is a chance for Ryan to be back. He's another guy we missed, but he's another guy that has a chance to be back for the last couple games, which would be nice.
Got time for one more?
Is Ron practicing?
He hadn't practiced yet. I think he should be cleared, we hope, to maybe start practicing next week. So he's out of the boot, he's doing, on the treadmill, but he hasn't done any individual or any of that kind of stuff yet. So hopefully we can get him started doing that next week.
All right. Thanks for your time,
Thanks,
Coach.
Matt.
Give us 1 second. We're going to have the players go together. Bring another chair in.
I'm going to sit down.
Yes, sir.
When did it turn off? Did you want this on right on the flag? Or you just want to use one mic? You just want to use one mic?
Thanks. All right, with us today, Jameer Latimer, cornerback, and Tyler Huff, quarterback. Jameer, Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week. First of all, what does that honor mean to you coming off of a big win for the team?
I mean, that means everything. I want to say, first thing I want to say is thank you to God for even blessing me with the abilities to even be in the position I'm in. And it just means a lot, being that this is my second year here, being able to just being able to help my team win and put ourselves in a position to win a conference championship. So yeah, that's really it. It's a lovely thing.
Tyler Huff, the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl Merit Award in 2023, finalist again in 2024. Tyler, where does the competitive spirit come from? We've talked a couple of times about not being afraid to put a shoulder or your face mask into somebody. Where does that competitive spirit and that will to win come from?
I mean, I don't know. I just always love playing ball. Being a quarterback, I think you got to earn the respect of your teammates. And I think that, playing hard and not being, the kind of guy to slide or, I think that just earns a lot of respect from your teammates. And I think people want to, rally. They'll follow somebody like that. So I think that's always been my mindset.
Questions for Jameer and Tyler?
What have been the keys from getting to 0-3 to now where you're playing for some big stakes?
Some of the keys, we had to calm down as a team because starting 0-3 like that it's never like a good thing for the morale of like the program in general. Like everybody just had to take a deep breath. Okay, start from square one. Like where are the issues? Like it was a lot of practices. There was a lot of details and like if you were lacking in practice, like the coaches were gonna get on you. And it just, we had to be reminded of the standard, I think is the biggest key. We got the talent, of course, but yeah, you see the results.
Yeah, I mean, obviously started off rough, but if you watch the games, I think every game we got much better between that. And I just remember, after the double overtime loss to Eastern, I remember we came back to practice Monday, and it was, probably one of our hardest practices. And I just kind of spoke to how this team is. We knew that we were throwing in the towel. A lot of people probably thought we were going to go over for the rest of the year, but I knew when we had that practice, everybody had the right mindset, and then we started stacking wins. Carver was getting back up, built. I mean, you can see from our guys now, everybody's feeling pretty good, and I think we're on the right track, and we're in the driver's seat. We're in control of our own destiny now.
Tyler, you picked up an offense that's very complicated, a lot of reads and a lot of motion and the speed and the whole 9 yards. Is there something special that you've done to be able to pick this up so fast?
I don't think it's nothing special. I mean, I'm in the meetings a lot with them. I sit in there with the offensive staff whenever they meet, so I understand what they're thinking, what they're expecting of me and the entire offense, so I can relay that to all the other teammates. But I mean, it's I played for a long time. Everybody runs the same exact plays. Just what do you call it? Everybody runs the same plays. So I knew how to do everything. It's just like getting it in and seeing how Coach Rich Robert wants it done, and Coach Smith. I mean, it just took me a little bit, but I mean, I feel confident now. But yeah.
Jameer, did you want to expand a little bit, going from 0-3 to 5-3?
Yes, sir. I was going to say, us starting 0-3, of course I wouldn't say it's the best thing, but losing early like that either will make or break you. And I feel like at this point of the season, like the winning, like all the winning we've been doing, we're always gonna go back to, okay, cool. We got to restart at the beginning of the week. Like we got to work hard, and, like execute. Like that's really all I want to say.
Jameer, walk us through that interception that kind of sealed it there at the end of the Liberty game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that play was crazy. It had me in shock. But I mean, we got a cover one man coverage that was off, and I knew going into the game that they like that little RPO out route to the boundary. So he had ran it earlier in the game, and it was like we were in cover 3, so I was bailing. So I kind of like knew I was gonna get it later in the game, especially being that I was off. I just trusted my technique and broke on it and just made the play. The rest is history.
All game.
Tyler, there was a highlight from another angle that we caught yesterday of Trey Stewart's first touchdown run. You almost caught up to him. It seems like there's been some big plays where you've been the most excited guy, whether you had the ball or not.
Yeah, I mean that's how it should be. I mean, unless you play college ball, you don't know how hard people work, and it's a special thing to score a touchdown. And for it to happen, that means all 11 guys got to do something perfectly. It's a special thing when that happens, especially when it's a big play like that. Especially because they just scored. That was first play out of that drive to respond. I know they were shocked. We were shocked. That's a good feeling right there. Yeah.
Time for one more for the guys? If not, we'll let you have the rest of your day. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
Appreciate
your
y'all.
time.